Problem number 4. Make a checkerboard matrix. Given an integer n, make an n by n matrix made up of alternating ones and zeros as shown below. The A11 should be 1. Okay, so we have an example of an input of n equals 5, and the answer, the output, is going to be a 5 by 5 matrix. And we start with a 1, and then with a 0, and then with a 1, and then with a 0. So a way to make this is creating a vector, like for example, since A is going to be the answer, we can make it like this, zeros and n. So this way we are creating a matrix of n by n, and all the values here are going to be zeros. Okay, so we have at least this part done at the moment. Also, we want to see, for example, how a matrix is done or how it works. And we can see that first are the rows here, first row, second row, and third row, and then the columns, which is the first column, the second column, the third column. Something we can find is that the indices of these values, in this case, is odd. We sum 1 plus 1, we get an even value. But if we sum here these values, we're going to get an odd value. If we do the same here, we get an even value because this is 1 plus 3. And if we do this here, we get an even value. So by the way, we can differentiate the sum of the indices that are even and the sum of the indices that are odd. So for example, these are odd actually, and the other ones are even. We can work with something like that. For I equals 1 through n, and for j equals 1 through n, if I plus j equals not equals mod of I plus j and 2 is even, this means that it is even because if this sum divided by 2 has a mod of 0, then that means that it's even. What happens? It has to become 1, right? Because the problem is asking us to do that. It has to become 1. Then this value inside this matrix, that we make a notation like this, A, I, Y, it's gonna be 1. That's it. That's the only thing we have to make because we already established that the matrix is gonna be full of zeros. So from all the zeros right now, we just need to change the ones that are gonna become 1. And those are the values where the indices, the sum of the indices, is even. That's what are we doing here, and that should be the problem. Okay. And that's it. That's problem 4.